Howdy, gamers. I'm faverwalbs, and video games are pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it's a fact that indie games are, incredibly important to the industry. I mean, just over the past decade, we've gotten Cuphead, Celeste, Undertale, Shovel Knight, hell, even Minecraft started off as an indie title. Even smaller games like Unpacking are just so unique and creative, and some AAA developers just can't recreate that magic. I would definitely say my favorite indie title recently has been Vampire Survivors. If you haven't heard of it, here's a quick rundown. Vampire Survivors is a roguelike where you play as a multitude of characters where you just mow down hordes and hordes of monsters using very unique accessories and weapons and power-ups with just one goal: just survive 30 minutes. It's extremely fun, and honestly, they should classify this game as a Schedule 1 drug. It's insanely addicting. I've actually sunk about 60 hours into this game. It's nuts. It's $3, it's constantly getting updates. I wholeheartedly recommend you check it out. But I'm actually not here to talk about Vampire Survivors. I'm here to talk about Vampire Survivors clones. Yeah, like any success story, along comes a multitude of titles just blatantly copying the source material. Vampire Survivors is really no different. You can find a handful of these on Steam if you look hard enough, but I wanted to find some real messes, and I knew I could only find them on one place. The place where dreams go to die. The App Store. Typing in Vampire Survivors on the App Store brings up quite a few clones, and honestly I wanted to try a lot more of them, but just for time's sakes, I only tried 3 of them. I played these 3 games for a little bit just to get a taste of what they were like and how I could compare them to the original game, or if they had that classic mobile game jank. Anyway, let's play some Vampire Survivors. Clones. So the first one I tried out was Vampire Battle Survivor. I booted up the app and it immediately throws me into a game. No menu or title whatsoever. It gives me a basic tutorial like how to move, what crystals do, and how level ups work. I'm given the God mode power up, and right at the beginning of the game I'm super overpowered. If I had to guess, it's just an extended tutorial to show how the game ultimately functions. 30 seconds pass and I'm booted out to the main menu. It's a fairly simple menu with upgrades, settings, and a play now button. I jump back into another game and, well, that sounds familiar. So I have to survive 30 minutes just like in Vampire Survivors. Alright, cool. My starting weapon is a sword that functions a lot like the whip in the original game. So I walk around, taking out bats and grabbing the crystals. Very similar to Vampire Survivors, even with the power-ups. I level up and I choose the axe. It doesn't help much, and I'm taking quite a bit of damage. I guess I'm just not used to this type of game with a touchscreen. I keep getting upgrades, including this toxic zone, which functions much like the garlic from the original game. A minute in, and I face my first bigger enemy, this red bat thing. I don't immediately kill it, probably just because I'm in such awe of how similar this is to the original game. Another power-up I get is this attraction one. Again, it functions like the attract door accessory from Vampire Survivors. Though I don't get to use it long because I died. Well, that's slightly embarrassing. After dying, I have the choice to revive by watching an ad. If that's your thing, go for it. At least it didn't shove it in my face and make me watch one. I try one more time just to see if I can go for a little bit longer, and I go for the double sword power-up. I'm a bit more confident knowing I have more free range this time. I grab the magic fire weapon once I leveled up, mimicking the fireball weapon in Vampire Survivors. At this point, I didn't think this game was half bad. It was just the original game, but in a mobile game format. I get the spin sword my next level up, which is this game's version of the King Bible. Another red bat spawns and I absolutely destroyed it. Usually in Vampire Survivors, defeating stronger enemies gives a chest, but this one only gave a crystal that shot my experience up a bit. So, alright, I feel like I'm doing pretty decently. Again, it's hard to get used to the controls. A touchscreen is not my preferred way of playing Vampire Survivors. At the 3-minute mark, an even bigger bat comes along, now in yellow flavor. I take his ass to O'Charlie's and get another crystal. Alright. At this point, I don't think my choice of where I was putting my levels was doing much for me, as the rats were starting to get really bitey. And yeah, I died. But hey, I survived 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the weed number, I think. Yeah, so this one is extremely similar to Vampire Survivors. It has a cutish art style and it's definitely far more simplistic than most mobile game clones tend to be. The reviews on this game are pretty negative. It's not great, but it's not 1-star bad. The video on the app page is very generic, just showing gameplay with taglines. But the weirdest part is, this game calls itself Vampire Survivors. Just straight up. It's definitely not hiding that it's a clone. Also, this game advertises that you can be the Sword Hell, which honestly is the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Next up is Blob Hero. I'm fairly sure I've seen this game advertised by an obtrusive ad before. I start up the game and, oh yeah, this is a mobile game. The no ads button, the shop, the upgrades made via ad watching. I was pretty apprehensive going into this. The first thing I do is go into what looks like a character selection screen. It does seem like every character has unique stats at the very least, but with them being amorphous blobs, it seems kind of lazy. Scrolling through, I noticed that the characters could be unlocked in a few ways. Coins, which are earned through gameplay, a straight up microtransaction, or by watching some ads. Typical mobile game. I check out the store next, and it has everything these types of games strive to have in their digital marketplace. Removing ads, bundles of different tiers of currency, or just whole characters. Admittedly, I have fallen in these traps before. Nice try, Blob Hero, making me spend my hard-earned money? Get real. Alright, let's actually play the damn game. I choose my starting skill, Frostora. I think it's this game's version of the Garlic. I start playing and there's no sound. Just none whatsoever. I don't know if it was just broken for me or if it was muted, but just nothing. I even opened Vampire Battle Survivor and it had sound just fine. Oh well, let's just see how the game is. These little yellow bathroom sign guys start coming after me and I slowly take them out with the Frost Aura. I level up and hey, some more damage sounds nice. The gems in this game are more like little colored diamonds, no texture or anything. Next level up, I go for the blob worms. I'll give it this seems to be the most original weapon yet. The most I could compare it to from Vampire Survivors is Pichon, but even then that's a stretch. I go for collection distance, which of course is a tractor, and I just play. Honestly, this game is really unremarkable. I think it's honestly very ugly and the movement just isn't the best in my opinion. Grab the homing blob on my next level up, and to be honest, I don't even think I noticed this in use during the game. On to level 6, and I go for spell effect radius. Okay, so I suppose my Frost Aura gets bigger. Could come in handy. I press it and... So, if I watch an ad for them, I can skip a level to make myself even stronger with whatever weapon or ability I've chosen. But no, not for me. I hit no thanks and I carry on. On level 7, I switch it up for Chain Lightning, probably a direct ripoff of the Lightning Ring from Vampire Survivors. I go for it and... Motherfucker. I hate mobile games that do this shit. I didn't elect to watch an ad, but it pushes one right in my face. So, whatever. I skip the shitty balloons ad and get back to the game. But, uh-oh! If I want, I can remove all ads right now for a generous $2.99. Nah, fuck that. That $3 may come in handy one day. Back to the game I go. So the game just kind of goes on. Again, it's truly unremarkable. The point of a video game is to have fun, right? I certainly wasn't having any. There wasn't anything unique about this game to make it stand out, nor is it so close to the original that it could be a decent time waster while not at home. At this point, Vampire Battle Survivor was looking like Game of the Year 2022 at this point. So, whatever. I trudge along and I get to level 13. I pick my power up and... Oh, now there's sound? To the same shitty ad I've already seen? With this ad, my eye roll count was now doubled with how annoyed I felt with this game. Skip through the shitty ad and back to the shitty game. Though, I finally saw something different. A chest! Yeah, like Vampire Survivors. I was thrilled. I opened it up to get an upgrade, but... I can watch an ad to get 2 more upgrades. Raise your hand if you think I watched it. Alright, well, you're wrong, because my eyes deserved better. I grab another chest, same bullshit. As I'm playing, I'm wondering, is there a time limit? How long do I need to survive? For all I knew, this could be endless. But I get the yellow bar at the top of the screen indicated there was time, but there was no actual digits allowing me to see the exact number of minutes or seconds I've gone on for. Alright, level 21. My blob can legally drink. Let's go for a little upgrade here and... Jesus fucking Christ! Shot an ad right into my face of this girl screaming. Scared the shit out of me. This ad actually made me very angry. Who the hell thinks it's okay to 1, slam an ad right in my face interrupting gameplay, and 2, make it basically a jump scare? This is honestly the worst goddamn ad I've ever seen in my entire life. Fuck this stupid mobile game it's advertising, and fuck Blob Hero for allowing it. So I eventually die around level 27, and of course it wants me to watch an ad to revive my character. Abso-fucking-lutely not, man. I'm out. The thing is, this one actually looked decent and unique, besides the predatory mobile game style at least. The reviews were actually definitely mixed on this one. I personally think this one's fairly bad. Fix the ad issue and maybe you've got an average Vampire Survivors clone on your hands, but the mobile game formula used to suck the money out of your wallet absolutely kills the vibe. I do not recommend it. Alright, after that catastrophe, it was time to move on to the final Vampire Survivors clones that I downloaded. Grim Knight Heroes. This one stood out due to its pixel art style, much like how the original game looks. I opened it up and... Alright, this looks cool as hell. The title screen is very retro. The only thing I'm not liking here is the giant remove ads button on the bottom, but whatever. I opened the quests without any context, and it seems like this game has an achievement type system. Very cool, I gotta say. Vampire Survivors has something similar, just not as simple. I pressed the extreme option and... oh, well, I guess I gotta reach Dracula and Dracula's castle to see what this is all about. I'm just not extreme enough, I suppose. So I hit start, and I'm brought to a character selection screen. We have William, Shade, Samson, and Elias. Looks like they all have different starting weapons. Just like Vampire Survivors. Okay, you get the point. I only have William, so I choose him and pick the Graveyard, since it's the only option we've got. Interesting to note is that in Grim Knight Heroes, you only survive for 20 minutes, rather than the usual 30. I'd say that's a bit more mobile friendly, honestly. Alright, so in this game, it looks like the gems are called orbs. Fair enough, suppose. Before I can even kill one enemy, I see a chest, and apparently I have to kill a boss to open it. That's definitely unique, though I'm not a fan of it. Vampire Survivors' way of doing chests is honestly perfect. I get to playing the game, and the first thing I notice is the music. My god, the music is fucking awesome! It legitimately sounds like some sort of Castlevania tune. I'm all about it. I start slashing at bats and picking up orbs. The sword mechanic is unique in that it swings in the direction you're facing, rather than just being front or back. Definitely refreshing to see. I lightly tap a few bats with my death weapon, and I get a level up. Reach's perk is that I can grab items from a further distance. Sounds slightly familiar, huh? Beating up more cats with wings, and I got a power-up. It freezes all the enemies on the screen, similar to the Orolosian pickup from Vampire Survivors. Next level up, I'm going for the energy shield. Garlic, anyone? Honestly, at this point, I was actually having fun. The tight music combined with actually having to try and hit enemies with the sword swing area was pretty damn cool. At level 4, I go for critical chance. An original item where I have a chance of hitting a crit on an enemy. As I'm playing, I'm noticing the quests are popping up too. That's where I think this game actually did something a little better than Vampire Survivors. In the original, any sort of achievement would only be granted at the end of the match, where here it's during. That's pretty cool. At level 5, I see a new item. The Clarity item gives a little bit more XP, just like the crown from Vampire Survivors. 3 minutes hit and... well, that definitely wasn't a concerning noise. I really hope there isn't a giant skeleton that's about to attack, and there's a giant skeleton trying to attack. I assumed this was the boss. Excited by the prospect of being able to open a chest, I hit him as much as I can. Yeah, I got him! And he just dropped a large orb. Alright, that's fine. Level ups are fine. Guess he wasn't a boss. Though I do level up and grab the wand weapon, just like the magic wand in Vampire Survivors. Very original. I'm still having a ton of fun, quite honestly. It was probably the music sending me into a state of psychosis that made me think mobile games are superior to any other form of entertainment. At level 11, I grabbed the dodge ability, another original one. Sometimes if I were to get hit, it would just negate the damage altogether and let me out scot-free. I like it, since it's not a given chance. At 5 minutes, I hear the lovely sounds of BTS one more. This time, a red skeleton popped out of the closet. Okay, this has to be the boss. With my expert swordsman skills, I was able to defeat him without breaking a sweat. Opening the chest gave me coins, health items, and even a crucifix that would absolutely delete every enemy on screen, like the rosary in Vampire Survivors. I definitely wasn't expecting this to be my reward for opening the chest, but I wasn't disappointed. At 7 minutes, I get 2 skeleton guys, plus all these fire dudes. It's also getting much tougher to get them now, but the time stop power-up definitely helps. I was pretty fine up until 10 minutes, where I was getting pretty overwhelmed, and I lost. Honestly though, I wasn't mad. I had a pretty good time with the little bit I played. A stat screen showed me that I had killed 1,668 mobs. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but that's definitely a big number. In all honesty, when I saw this one on the App Store, I thought it would be the cloniest clone of Vampire Survivors yet, but I am pleasantly surprised. This game is definitely a clone, but it has its own identity with the music and presentation. It seems like others agree as well. The ratings are above average, and the developers actually seem to care about the reviews. Overall, this is definitely one of the better Vampire Survivor clones. With all the unique features, I definitely say check this one out. Well, that certainly was an experience. I mean, we played an average clone, we played a terrible clone, and then we played a clone that was actually pretty good. I think it's pretty obvious that none of these clones even come close to the action and chaos that Vampire Survivors brings. For $3 on Steam, you're getting a hell of a deal. But with these games, you're paying to get rid of the ads on top of microtransactions, and at the end of the day, that's just not worth it. Just play Vampire Survivors, period. The developer Ponsel did a hell of a job making Vampire Survivors with as much content as it has, still gaining more to this day, and for a good price as well. And for mobile game developers to just straight up copy the idea and spew it on the App Store, it's actually kind of respectable in a way. This indie game seemingly popped out of nowhere, gained a following, and now has tons and tons of clones. That just goes to show you how awesome the original game is. So if this video has not enticed you to play Vampire Survivors yet, just do it. You really won't regret it. Anyway, I'm gonna play Vampire Survivors now, so yeah. Bye.